This culture that you're both speaking of, that should then definitely come from the leadership.
Absolutely. Any organization has to have this concept. You have to have a vision. That vision defines where we have to reach 20, 30, 40 years from now on, or 10 years, 20 years.
You cannot fake your way through.
Okay.
It is not that you can go for a 1 month lecture or a 1 month course and imbibe those qualities. Because in pressure situations is the one when that bring out your inherent qualities. You don't have time to think.
Very important thing. Why do people break down? If you go through the psychological aspect, they feel lonely.
What is being evaluated is extremely opposite of our education system, right? That is the destination, but we want to see how you arrived there.
Yes. You are at the age of 16, 17, 18 at the time when you are giving these tests. I mean, you are still very raw. They will put the child into 3-4 different activities. पहले उसका गिटार का क्लास लगा दिया, देन स्विमिंग का ये कर दिया, देन उसके बाद लेके आया, फिर वापस एक्स्ट्रा ट्यूशन कर दिया. Again, as I said, whatever you're doing, there has to be a purpose which is a larger purpose. Whatever you're doing, you are serving the nation.
Hi, I'm Commander Girish Konkar. I'm an ex-Indian Naval officer. I was in the Indian Navy for about 22 years. And in the Navy, I was a submariner.
Welcome back to another episode on the Commander's Compass. Today's episode is very, very special because we have representatives from both the Indian Army as well as the Indian Navy. Our favorite Commander Girish Konkar is here as usual, and along with him, we have a decorated Indian Army officer, Brigadier Abhay Bhat, who served the nation in the Indian Army's Corps of Signals. Both of them together are going to talk about the leadership lessons that the Indian Army has imbibed deeply in them and what we as civilians can take from it. Welcome to the Commander's Compass.
Thank you.
Sir, I want to start with the basics here. Whenever somebody who aspires to become an Indian Army, Indian Armed Forces officer, they have to pass the SSB. And there are certain qualities that the Armed Forces is evaluating in these candidates. So could you shed a light on what these qualities are?
Yeah, okay. So both of us joined in ND at the same time, and we went to different SSB, but we were evaluated at the same time. If you had asked me this question at that time, we had no idea what was that. But the fact that we have cleared the SSB in our first attempt means that we probably possess those qualities. So let me now, after looking back 34 years of service and another 8 years in civil, what are those qualities and what do they mean to the armed forces? So the Services Selection Board is basically looking for candidates who have got good leadership skills. And when you say good leadership skills, these are not necessarily leadership skills which are as required by the armed forces. Because leadership, more or less, is consistent across all kinds of professions. Of course, armed forces, certain skills require better weightage, like courage or stamina or things like that. So these qualities are evaluated by a team who are well trained, and the training mechanism or the evaluating mechanisms is developed by experts.
Right.
So these qualities can be put in 4 baskets, you can see, the 4 factors they call it. First is organization and planning. So what are your abilities as far as organization and planning is concerned? Second is social adjustment. Because in the armed forces, you have to adjust to variety of people, variety of situations, variety of terrains, variety of environments. The third is a social effectiveness, because as a leader, there are the qualities that you require. Right. How effective you can be. And last is the mental strength. And I think it should be the first one. The mental strength is one of the most important factor of the 4. So these are evaluated through various tests. So these tests are in form of group tasks, interview, then there is a discussion, there is a conference, and there are various individual tasks, then there are psychological tests. So all these tests combined, they will provide the evaluators the score that is they are looking for
Right.
you to be selected. And that's how an officer for Indian Armed Forces is selected. And then, of course, the training part is a different ball game altogether.
So, would you like to add a little here?
Yeah, like what he said, the various disciplines that they are testing you. The main thing that one is you cannot fake your way through.
Okay.
1% might get through, but the tests are designed such that your inherent qualities are the ones which that come out. So you cannot rectify anything. You can't mug up and go for an SSB. It has to be your inherent qualities. Now, they need not be perfect. So they are relatively evaluating you. They've got a certain standard, and when they're evaluating, and to say whether you are passing or not passing. So the qualities, it is not that you can go for a 1 month lecture or a 1 month course and imbibe those qualities. In a 1 month, 3 months course, you will definitely get a lot of information about various qualities.
Right.
But will you imbibe them, and will they come out in a situation wherein you don't have the time to think what I should do? So the tests that they do are evaluated such that you should give instant answers. That means you must be वो आपको right from the school days, in your college days, that must be your ethos.
Right.
So it is not knowledge or skills that they're testing. I mean, after having tested your knowledge, which you gave in the written examination, now you come for this to check your inner qualities.
Okay.
Which, like you said, can be put in various buckets, and they have I think 3 days that they have the evaluation going on. And in various disciplines, they're constantly evaluating. They're creating pressure situations, because in pressure situations is the one when that bring out your inherent qualities. You don't have time to think what I should do. Whatever your inner thing will come out.
And very interesting. The SSB is a very interesting set of tests, actually.
Okay.
In which what happens, you as a candidate, you think they want you to give for you to give the best solution. Say whether it is a team or your individual. So they'll give you a task. Say team of 7 or 6 or 7 are doing that task. Now there is another team of 6 or 7 is doing the same task or similar task.
Okay.
And you will find that the other team has actually done a better task, but still none of them may have got selected.
Oh.
Because they are not looking at your completion of the task. They are looking at how you are interacting, how is your social behavior while doing this planning, organizing, executing the task. So the evaluators are well-trained psychologists, well-trained group task officers. They know how to evaluate, what qualities to evaluate at that time.
Okay.
So the task is only a vehicle to evaluate. It is not the completion or not the execution of a task. They're looking at mechanism what you're putting in.
Right.
So as I said, social effectiveness, they're looking at that. Your qualities of whether you have the courage to do certain things. Or can you take a few risks? Can you work as a team? Or can you work in a team? All these things are evaluated in a very subtle way.
So this is just listening to
That's
you.
why when Commander Konkar mentioned that they cannot be taught in 1 month or 2 months of a crash course.
Absolutely.
They have to be developed as part of your upbringing. And you are at the age of 16, 17, 18 at the time when you're giving these tests. So, I mean, you're still very raw.
Yes, 100%. No, and as you're speaking, I think what is being evaluated is extremely opposite of our education system, right? Where we are given marks for completing the answers.
Correct.
We are given marks for submitting within the deadline.
Absolutely.
And here, that is just that is the destination, but we want to see how you arrived there.
Yes.
So that's the difference, I think.
That's true. So that, I mean, he might be a better person to talk about the new education policy, because he was, in the last 10 years, he was director AIT. So he's been through that. What I hear, or whatever little bit I have seen, is that is trying to bring about this. But like you can see, when I don't know, about 10 lakh people give the entrance exam for the NDA or the Combined Defense Services. Out of 10 lakh, maybe 5 lakh pass the written examination. Right. But only 300 get selected to the NDA. That means bulk of it, 99.9% of people are eliminated during the SSB.
Yes.
Not in your knowledge test, which unfortunately my experience is in the civil street, in the education system, what is tested is your knowledge. You can give an exam, get 90%, 95%. But when have they ever tested you for these other qualities which are life skills actually?
Yes.
They're essential skills, life skills. Whether it's, like you said, whether it's armed forces or civil street. those same qualities are required.
Yes.
Somewhere that you require, like courage might be more required in the armed forces, but you still need social skills. You need to work as a team.
The
Same is the
discipline.
case. Discipline. Same is the case with the corporate world. But do the schools, college, institutes, do they ever lay emphasis on this? Question mark.
Yes.
So now he mentioned that new education. So there is a lot of thought process which has gone into this new education policy, and it does focus on these qualities. The question is how our institutions and organizations are going to implement
Embrace it, yeah.
One more factor I would like to say. We keep saying education, policy, schools, colleges. Even a better, more important factor is has to be considered. It is the parents. But after all, an upbringing consists of 35% is only the school and college. Rest is your home environment.
Yes.
There, what are the parents, how the parents should think about bringing up the children. That's a message that should go.
Yes.
They should not be worried about the rat race. First, second, third marks, 90%, 95%. It's not that. They have to look at the all-round development of their child.
I think this is very important for parenting,
Yes,
especially
parenting.
is the new age parents who are now quite conscious and quite aware of what they want to imbibe in their kids. So they should definitely
But
think about
sometimes the consciousness is also counterproductive. They are probably too protective about in that consciousness also. They will put the child into 3-4 different activities. School के बाद आने के बाद इधर जाना है, उधर से जाने के बाद. That's a Western model actually. I would say that. पहले उसका गिटार का क्लास लगा दिया, देन स्विमिंग का ये कर दिया, देन उसके बाद लेके आया, फिर वापस एक्स्ट्रा ट्यूशन कर दिया. So child has no time to
excel in anyone.
No, not only excel, grow on his own.
He's handheld in everything.
You see any plant, how does it grow?
It's out there.
You provide the environment and they'll allow it to grow it on your own. Don't water it excessively, it will die. So that has to be thought of. So very important facet is social adjustment. How do you behave in an environment which is not your comfort zone? So you can learn that from the childhood. Then only you will be able to imbibe those qualities. So he was in a hostel in his childhood. So I think automatically you would have someone like me who may not have been in the hostel. But my parents allowed me to participate in various activities where I was on my own.
Interacting with others freely.
Without
Yes.
the protective
supervision.
shield of the parents. It's very important. You have to let go the child. Let them take the little risk. Let them make mistakes. That's how they learn.
Right.
And once the child learns these things, what grows is self-confidence. If the child is confident to be able to stay in any kind of environment, operate with a team in any kind of environment, I think half of the battle is won.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, this thing like change management, the changing environment. How do you adjust to the constantly changing environment? Like today, we are in a world which is constantly changing. Something every day, something new thing happens. There is no constancy. You cannot predict that if I do this, this exactly is going to happen. Now, how do you train a person for that? I can give you one live example. In my house, my daughter, we were in Mumbai, and my mother used to be in Pune. And every holidays, twice a year, you have these holidays or even weekends. My daughter would come to Pune at grandmother's house. So first year she came during the 1 month school holidays. She came. Then next year again she came. So 2-3 times she came. So one day she asked my mom. Okay, she said, "What is this? So boring. You are living in the same house. I have come the 4th time in 2-3 years. You are living in the same house. Your neighbors are the same. Your neighbors don't change. Nothing. Everything is the same." Now this girl, her age that time must have been about 7 or 8 years old. 6-7 years of age type. Because for her, either we were getting transferred constantly, or our house was being changed constantly. The school was being changed constantly. Our neighbors would change constantly. So for her, change was a part of life.
Yes.
So she thought very strange. Same neighbors, same
changing.
house, nothing is changing. What a boring life. And that becomes it. So you put that child anywhere now. That child is very comfortable. This is what life is. Whereas okay, I shouldn't mention these names because that will become very, what do you say? People might take opposition. But those who are really used to that. ऐसे जिंदगी होना चाहिए. Typically, yeah. You don't
graduate at 20,
straight jacket.
you get
straight jacket.
Or what do you call it? A square.
Yeah, a square. They'll have a tough time in the armed forces.
Yeah. So, what I gather from both of you here is there are very different qualities that are being evaluated, and then I'm pretty sure through your training they are getting stronger and stronger.
Shall I correct you there?
Yes,
they are not
please.
different qualities. As again earlier we mentioned, they are the same qualities required in other places also for leadership roles.
No, I'm saying the variety. So that the
No,
variety.
again in the variety also. I mean, these things are required. See, tomorrow if you are a software engineer and as you keep growing, you have to lead a team, you have to move to places. You have to maybe start some new projects. You require all these qualities.
Yes.
You have to handle a different kind of environment whenever you go on a higher role or a different role.
Right.
And somebody who's able to do that will be going up the ladder.
Yes.
Other person will stay at the same place in the comfort zone.
Right.
So how to be able to get out of a comfort zone and prove your worth? It's there everywhere.
Right.
So like I always say, knowledge and skill can be outsourced. But your attitude is your integral part. You cannot fake it. You cannot download it from anywhere. You cannot just learn and read a book and learn attitude.
Right.
It is to be imbibed into you since childhood. And then it comes about and you can hone it. You can say, okay, let me work on it here and there and all that. That can be done. But inherently, since childhood, we really have to, and best is learned experientially through, like he mentioned, you go out for, maybe camps, maybe, in fact, school should do it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, our school, like for example, in my school, we used to have cross country, we used to have boxing. I joined my school in 4th standard and we had a boxing match and I never worn gloves in my entire life. Now suddenly here I'm wearing gloves and to go into a ring and fight a person who looks similar to you, but maybe he's stronger and you got to take that hit and stand up and fall down and give it back to him. I mean, whether I won or not is a different story.
Right.
But that taught me that life is not hunky-dory. And what did I learn? I'm sure something went in my mind, because you had in every year we had boxing. It's not that just once. When I came to NDA also we had boxing and probably I got walloped in the first 6 months. So that guy must have hit me so hard because he was from Sainik school. That was his lifetime. But it still taught me, okay, tomorrow's another day. And then even after the match, you still get up and you hug each other and say, well done, well done, and good bout. That teaches you again failure also. Yeah, that you take failure in your stride. You can't teach failure by any other method. We had cross country. I remember 4th standard, 5th standard, they made us run, I think, about 1.5 kilometers. So not very great distance. But for a 5th standard kid, that still was, and we would curse at that time. Where are they taking us? And I was in boarding school, and they would make us run and. But that definitely taught somewhere in the subconscious mind that chodega nahi. How do you teach that?
Yes.
So that's.
I think some of these things, I'm pretty sure your upbringing and then your years serving the nation in the uniform, that has developed a very distinct leadership style for each of you.
Correct.
So, what are some things that the new generation of leaders, whether in uniform or outside of it, that they can take from you and implement in their day-to-day lives?
I think the fundamentals remain the same across generations, whether now or even the time of Shivaji Maharaj or anything. Fundamentals remain the same. Okay, so I will quote something.
Yes.
Okay, I am talking about armed forces. So when we pass out from IMA, we pass out through a building called Chetwood building, and it is got a hall, Chetwood Hall. And in bold letters, when we pass out, the last step we take, this quote is written. So that is known as Chetwood motto. What it means is that whenever you are serving, first and foremost you should be considering the comfort, the service to the nation, what is best for the nation, and what you have to think about the nation. Second thing you have to think about is the comfort, ease, and security of your men who are serving under you. And the last thing is your own comfort, ease, and security. So that is the last thing. So if you keep that in mind, And every officer who's passing out is supposed to read that. And it's repeated over time and again. And that's how people serve. And especially young officers, they are sent to border areas, sea operations areas, difficult areas, and they come across such situations which they have to prove this, what they are doing. So this is the basic thing. So if you are serving, keeping in mind nation first. Second is your team, number two. And three is you the last. I think that's the basic of leadership.
Yeah. So again, going back, nation first.
Yes.
Now, when you hear that same nation first, desh ke liye kya karega for 3 years continuously in your life, that becomes your life. Okay, and when you pass out, you start leading teams. You are initially you are the junior most, then but even the junior most, you will have a team of maybe 10, 15 people under you. As you grow senior, that might go to 1,000, 10,000 people that you're leading. But every time that's now your ethos has become at first is nation first, then like I said, it is the team first, then is your own personal well-being. That becomes your life. That everything else starts to fall into place. Then, so your whole purpose becomes nation first, team first, then my benefit. If that is your purpose, then comes the values. So that becomes so they all dovetail now.
Yes.
It's no more transactional. What I have observed is in the civil street, it is more transactional. That if you get paid, I do so. If I get this, I'll do this. In the armed forces, it is transformational. It is not because you're getting paid that do it. Yeah, you must get paid. There's no doubts about that. You must get good facilities. All that comes without asking. But first is what you prove your worth. Then automatically people, so you earn your respect.
Yes.
You don't get respect just because you got some on your shoulder, you got these rank badges and all that stuff. Like in the submarines, we had no shoulders to put. I mean, there was no ranks. We always wear disposable clothing. There's nothing. You can't make out who's an officer, who's a sailor. So if somebody comes, and our sailors also highly qualified. They are very smart. So you just can't look at a person and say, is he an officer or sailor?
Right.
Forget is he the senior most officer, and you can't make out. So you're going to earn your respect always. So that is very crucial that you earn.
Sir, I think we just started speaking about team building and having some kind of a common goal or a mission, right? So, how would you say, how important is it, whether you are a corporate team, whether you are in the army and you are the troops for a certain mission, how important is it for you to have a common goal to work towards?
Any organization, good organization, has to have this concept. You have to have a vision. And vision is divided into different objectives for different teams. And unless each member of the team is aware of these facts, how will they work for the ultimate objective? Because sometimes when you're working, your steps that you're taking it may not feel that you're leading towards that. And you may get deviated. So it is firstly that is very important. And it is many times it is the goal that is the incentive or that is the motivation. And that, if it is there at the back of mind of people, it changes their work style.
Right.
It changes the team bonding. Everybody thinks that he's a boss, I am not the boss, but we are working for the same goal.
Yes.
Like the nation first, so goal first. So then your team moves with speed, with good integration. Otherwise, if you just say, okay, you do this job, two different set of jobs are given to you, and you don't know why you are doing that for. You will not have that kind of incentive or interest in doing that job. When you know it is for a common goal that is to be achieved, then you feel important also.
Yes.
Isn't it? You feel important. Okay, this is for this. And you will do that. Even if it may look trivial or it may look out of place for that moment. But when you know there is a goal, you will go for it. In the larger scheme of things, when the organizations are made or organizations are formed, you always have a vision for the organization. That vision defines where we have to reach 20, 30, 40 years from now on, or 10 years, 20 years. Like you have an organization, you may be having a vision. And then everybody contributes in reaching that or achieving that vision in their own capacity. Everybody uses their own brains, their own gray cells, their own mechanisms. They put into effect. And it's a nice integration that takes place. Otherwise, you will have
Talented people, but just
exactly
working in different
so different this thing.
Yeah.
So instead of 1 plus 1 becoming 11, it becomes 1 plus 1 became 1.5 or something like that.
Same thing was like I mentioned also, there's transactional and transformational. If you, the first thing I will is the purpose.
Yes.
Okay, the purpose is purpose, and like mentioned, then comes vision, then could be mission, and then could be your values, then can be goals. All these have to fall into place. In my experience of 22 years in the submarine arm, 21 years now in the last 20, corporates especially have no clue about all these things. They have great vision boards and they have mission boards and they'll have values which nobody understands. Corporations go purely on transactional basis, and that's where they fail. Armed forces, there are a lot of emphasis on transformational basis. In a sense, like this is that nation first has been grilled into people. That becomes your purpose. From there comes your, like what the armed forces, the army especially will call it as Naam Namak Nishan. Very simple, crystal clear, no ambiguity in what that means. You don't have to explain to somebody in a complicated vision board exercise which corporates do. The values, again, let me give you the example of the armed forces again. Army, Navy, Air Force. Their ways of working, I think, are totally different. If you ask an army person, he'll say Navy guys are hooligans. Or discipline hai nahi unme. Because that's what the Navy is. Submarine army had no discipline. We're all, you see in the morning, you say hi sir, good morning sir. In army, you'll go kadak salute and thumb, left, right, karega, thumb and all stuff. That's army. It's good. That's required in the armed force, in the army. The Navy has got no such requirement in the submarine army. We never had that. Again, I give this example of the army again. It's divided. It's a lot of the regiments are based on area wise. You have a Madras regiment, you have a Punjab regiment, you have a Assam regiment, you have a Mahar regiment. Can you think of even having a Mahar regiment in your organization? Where only the Madrasis, let's say Madras, only Madrasis can come in this team, okay? You will have 10 court cases against you. But the army does it. And they still work as one. Why? So there, like I say, the culture of the army is diametrically different. The culture of the Navy and the Air Force and the army is diametrically opposite to each other. Army has highly disciplined soldiers. They are required, definitely. But the Madrasi culture and the Punjabi culture is completely diametrically opposite. I mean, you cannot see eye to eye on that culture. Probably the Madrasi culture is pure vegetarianism. Probably the Punjabi, probably, I'm saying probably, he cannot have, unless he has everyday mutton or chicken, he cannot survive. But they work for one cause. So what matters is that cause. Is it so simple, straightforward that everybody, right from your doorkeeper, right from your sentry person, to the entire organization is clear, this is our purpose, vision, mission, what are the values expected from each one of us. Corporates I have experienced have complicated value system. Teamwork cannot be a value system. Teamwork is how you live your value system. So the armed forces, again, like I said, what binds them together is the value system. They're universal values.
I will try to explain further this Naam Namak Nishan
Yes,
concept.
I'll just give you. So value system becomes, then comes goals. ये सब होने के बाद में, if you have crystal clear goals, very simple, very straightforward, now the task come. But why? They're first joined together emotionally to this, like, this is what you want to achieve. Now what do you want to do? Now climb Everest? Okay, we'll climb Everest, or do whatever your corporate tasks are. So I think I'll leave now to Brigadier Bhat to tell us about the Naam Namak Nishan.
So Naam Namak Nishan is a very simple concept. नाम किसका?
देश का.
नहीं. Because so country as a concept, maybe pre-independent India wasn't that strong an attraction or a binding force for the jawan. नाम यूनिट का, जिस यूनिट में सर्व कर रहा है, 13 जैकरिफ, द फेमस यूनिट, 8 ग्रेनेडियर्स, 18 ग्रेनेडियर्स, ये नाम है बस. और नमक उसका खाया हुआ है. किसका? Whosoever is the leadership in that organization. And Nishan is the Nishan of whatever regiment and country or for. So in तीनों का इज्जत. Izzat is again a word that is very commonly used. It's a Urdu word, but it's such a forceful word. कि इनके इज्जत के लिए मैं जो भी कर रहा हूँ कर रहूँगा. I'll lay my life also for that. And that works. And along with that, there is an association of religious figures also there. So if it is a particular regiment, for example, Assam regiment, they may be having a war cry, or they may be having a deity who's from their area, whom all of them worship so much that it gives them inspiration. And these all become a part of the team culture, as you said. So as in army also, there is such a difference in cultures between a say Madras regiment or Naga regiment or this thing, and how do they work together? It's again a very great area of study. It's because these units within themselves are so well integrated, and when they come along with the others, they add so much value to the whole force. So they read any of these stories of the Kargil heroes and a particular operation, say for example Tiger Hill or some other operation, there were 2 or 3 units who operated concurrently or one after another. Each achieved a particular goal. Or if somebody did not achieve, were not able to achieve, the other team went and did that for that team. But they were given a goal. And they said कि ये गोल अचीव करना अगर नहीं करेगा तो किसका नाम खराब हो जाएगा? यूनिट का. That's how the goal transforms into a matter of izzat for the unit. So that goal is given to them. कि you achieve this. In corporate role, if similar thing is given, a target is given, नहीं तो जो तुम्हारा TCS पुणे का ये है उसका नाम खराब हो जाएगा. Will they work? I don't know. They should. But it doesn't happen that way because of the transactional nature of the job that people are performing. I was in a semi-civilian job also after that as a head of an institute. So I tried to imbibe that in that institutional culture also. Okay, if we have to do it, this is for my institute, for the benefit of the institute. Please do this. Go beyond your how many hours of work you have to put in a week. What is the compensation for that? If you work extra, what will you get? Think about it later. We'll look after you. But first look at it, what is best for this thing. So that culture takes time to build up.
I think, so this culture that you're both speaking of, that should then definitely come from the leadership.
Absolutely.
They are the ones who can make transactional into transformational.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And how the leader reach that level? They've gone through this process. For example, in the army, any one of us who get commissioned, first 3 to 4 months, depending on the regiment, we are not given leadership roles or leadership priorities. Or even the perks. We are not supposed to get them. So first few months we stay with the Jawans. Do the work each Jawan is doing. Or learn that work each Jawan is doing from him only. The person whom you are actually a superior. And you are going to command him a few months later. And willingly that Jawan teaches you everything, all these skills, all these small tricks of trades. So you stay with them, look at how they live, how they stay, what do they think, what are their points at which they can get motivated, what are the sensitive points which are touchy, what are the families, how do they interact with the families, do the men have any problems with the families, is this environment okay? So you learn in that few months very closely. And then so when you start growing up the ladder, when initially you are a section commander, then become a platoon commander, company commander, you keep that in mind. You always have that in mind.
Right.
So again, the Chetwin motto, you always think of their comfort, their ease, their training, their skill sets, how to develop that, and ensure that your team is the most effective team.
Right.
And again, it gets linked to the name of that team. Okay. That's how it
Like
works.
we, after NDA, 3 years in NDA, I joined the Navy.
Huh.
I was in the Navy, and we were sent as cadets. We are officer cadets. We go on a ship. That time, there was a ship called INS Mysore. It's a big destroyer, but those Second World War type destroyers. It was no more sailing, but it was made a cadet training ship. So we would do a lot of training. One of the things that we do, the technical term for that is called holy stoning. Holy stoning. What that means is these ships had wooden decks.
Okay.
Okay, now because of the various things that the wooden deck would get slippery, so it had to be cleaned. And we as cadets, get down on your knees, and used to have those brushes, stones. So it's actually be stones, which are rough stones, and with the stone
Clean the
clean the
entire
entire deck of the
Oh.
scrub the deck of the ship. We're supposed to be officers here. We joined the NDA with the future generals of the armed forces, and we're supposed to lead men into battle. And here I am on a Saturday afternoon, scrubbing the deck of a ship. It's a car first gate type. But what did it teach us? It teaches you. And who was supervising us? Who was looking after, are we doing the right thing? Obviously, you can't just let these
Yes.
20-year-old kids on their own. So there'll be a sailor who's who will be in charge, and his job is to get us. We were 60 of us there on the ship. There were maybe 5-6 sailors who were made in charge, saying, "Okay, inse aaj holy stoning karwao." But a sailor who, moment I get commissioned, I'll be commanding now.
Oh.
Okay, but that builds a strong bond in the entire team as you go along. So you understand how other people at the junior levels also go through the same training. So that becomes another thing I'd like to add over here, like what he again mentioned. We were mentioning about the vision and mission and goals. I always ask this question in the program as to who pays your salary. And again, 90% of people will either give the answer as my HR gives it, or my company gives it, or my boss gives it, etc. I said, no, it's a customer who gives it. So whatever task that you do, who are you doing your task for? The customer. Because if the customer doesn't pay you the money, you cannot get salary. Internally, you're doing a specific task, but it is linked to ultimately the customer being satisfied with your performance. So you're not doing it just for myself so that I earn money. But unless the customer is satisfied, you'll not get money.
Right.
So somewhere that has to be imbibed into the whole team, that it's a customer first. He says, Naam, Namak, Nishan. I can relate somewhere saying customer first. So I always ask this, customer first, profit later, or is it profit first, customer later? And if you by mistake say profits first, customer later, your organization is finished.
Neither will you get profit nor will you get customer.
Neither you get profit nor will you get customer.
Right.
That means it's customer first. Whether you like it or not. That's the whole thing into motion.
Right. So we've reached the point where I think all of us now understand better that it's customers first, profits later. But if you've seen today's corporate life, especially in MNCs and larger organizations, there's a lot of pressure related to your targets, deadlines, and many a times, there are very deadlines that are set that are not even right because they're coming from the top-down approach. And a lot of young professionals break down under that pressure. But when you look at the armed forces, the our officers, our jawans serving there are going through life and death situations on a long time, right? A regular basis, pretty much. But they don't break under that pressure. So, what is it that the armed forces is imbibing for this kind of mental strength, and how can we civilians cultivate it?
So while the Jawans and the officers are up in the front, and it keeps, of course, one is the training. Right from the day one, the training takes you through various steps of pushing yourself under pressure. And you do come at times in the training, especially in the training period, also saying, I should give up. But then the environment is there which gives you an inspiration. So over like in officers, even in NDA, it gave a 3-year period. You went through all the ups and downs and said tomorrow's another day. So somewhere the brain got trained to take pressure. While at the same time, everyone realizes that it is not so easy to handle pressure. So even the army realized it long time back, and army does conduct one of the best thing that it helps you overcome pressure is sports. That is the key for handling pressure. That trains the body to take. So armed forces play sports extensively. Even these simple things which you've seen various the Jawans do. Even in Siachen, they will do meditation exercises, yoga exercises. All that does is to train the brain at some level to handle pressure. I'll not go into the science behind it right now. So simple techniques which a civilian can understand, which we all know, nothing new that I'm telling here. Right from the most simplest of things like pranayam, meditation, yoga, exercise, sports, very, very essential for the body to train itself to handle pressure. Unfortunately, again, it should not be done as a transactional element. It should be treated as a transformational element. So even when you do play a sport, you don't play a sport just to play a sport, not a mechanics of sport. It is to imbibe all those qualities in you, saying, to win and lose. When you do your yoga, when you do your exercises, do it with full, complete composure, with complete focus on your body. You'll find the body will now train to handle it. Then we mentioned earlier change management, that things keep changing. So get used to it. You do it a couple of times, the brain gets used to it. Say, okay, change is part of the game. And that helps you handle pressure. There are many other techniques which are there, which we can talk about a little later. But yeah, you need to train yourself to handle pressure.
Yeah, so the training part he mentioned, it's a very important factor. For that matter, there is a famous quote: the more you train in peace, the less you or more you sweat in peace. Sweat means training. Less you bleed in war. So actually, the armed forces, army and navy, and all of us, out of the whole year, I think more than half the year we are doing training only, some kind of training. Now, people always have this question: when there is no war, what does the armed forces do? Why are they getting paid? Because they are training for that war which can happen once in 10 years, once in 15 years, and where nobody will break down. Because you're trained so much. You're trained so much individually and as a team, or as teams, integrated teams, that then it becomes mechanical. Then you are able to handle the pressure much easily. For that matter, sometimes some war veterans say, sir, this particular exercise, this training was tougher than what we faced in the war. Right? We are put through that training. Even in a daily routine, in the army, you have 1 day night training in a week.
Okay.
Okay, so what is night training? That means your office doesn't get over at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening. The office starts, you do the morning office, you go back, come back at 6 o'clock, and fresh office starts at 6 o'clock. And you go back at 12 o'clock in the night, go home 12 o'clock. So you have a night training just to get used to the concept of working in the night, because in the war you actually work in the night only mostly. Then when you have this exercise, so we have a annual collective training, it is called. Every unit goes through that. Then there is a series of various levels of training the units go through. So in these training, you have some exercises in which you practice certain individual skills, certain skills which required as a team, and then as a collective, how you can operate in a war. So there's a mock war that is fought, in which maybe 4 continuous days you don't sleep, you sometimes are deprived of food. The situation is created in such a manner that you have to walk kilometers and kilometers in different terrain, difficult terrain, extreme weather conditions. So you put through this every year. Every unit, every formation goes through that. So that training actually ensures that you are ready for that war-like situation. Second, very important thing: why do people break down? If you go through the psychological aspect, they feel lonely. They feel helpless. There are two main factors. So when somebody is breaking down because he's feeling helpless, he's not able to handle the situation. But we train again in a manner that you will never feel lonely. The Jawan will not feel lonely. He always knows there's somebody behind me who will help me, or somebody with me who is going to assist me or support me, and vice versa. So that culture is imbibed again through various, well proven techniques. And as I said, there are other support systems. So no Jawan should be felt that he's alone or he's not being looked after. And that's where again that second factor comes in. When as a leader I'm thinking about his welfare,
Yes.
about his
Comfort.
And when welfare does not mean okay खाना ठीक दिया अच्छा है वो सोया रात को ठीक है, ये comfort नहीं है. For that the biggest welfare is training again. How well have you trained a Jawan to face a situation is what is more important. Like I was speaking to one para commando officer just day first, my coursemate only. So he was telling me ki, how they used to train for the CI operations in JNK. A lot of emphasis was put on how you handle your weapon and react in a very short period of time. And how do you aim? How do you kill the person before he kills you?
Right.
They spend hours and hours in the training. And as a para commando putting in those hours, that means you already saw at such a pedestal of physical fitness and training. But they have to go through this before they go and work in that, say, operations area. And that's why they get the success instead of them getting killed. बिकॉज एक गोली एक दुश्मन बोलते हैं ना, एक बहुत बड़ा इन्फेंट्री का ये है कोट है दैट, बट वो दुश्मन भी वही सोच रहा है, एक गोली एक दुश्मन. सो तुम्हारी गोली पहले लगनी चाहिए और सही जगह पे लगनी चाहिए. सो ही सेज वी हैज टू बी ट्रेन्ड कि भाई द नॉट ओनली शुड बी फायर, दे शुड फायर so that that guy does not has no chance of lifting up the weapon after that. He's killed there and then only. So how do you aim in the night? So all this is, comes together and ensures that the mental health and the morale of your team is always up.
Right.
It's not only breaking down is just once, I mean the extreme part of it, but even a low morale is bad. You'll not be able to achieve your objective.
Yes.
So how do you keep the morale up? And many times you face difficulties, you face failures. How do you face them? And again, coming back to the fundamental point which you mentioned, sports.
Sports.
So right from India, and there also, which sports again is very important. So we are encouraged more in the army to play the team sports.
Team sports.
Contact sports.
Team and contact sports. So if you are in a basketball team, if you are in a football team, you probably get more points. Okay, than you are say a squash player, an individual player when you are doing these courses.
Right.
When we are the initial part of our training. Of course, you develop. Those are hobbies. I mean, you have individual sports. They have all their own merit, but a lot of focus is on the team sport and the competitiveness that develops in that. So at every level in the army also they have these competitions within a unit inter-company, is within a brigade inter-brigade and things like that. And they have fought like wars. So so that's how these qualities develop.
Yeah. So for our audience here, I want to take a moment because you heard from both of them that training your brain is very important, and as a part of our commanders leadership gurukul, that is exactly what we will help you do. We will help you in training your brain to get through all of these, even your routine situations and difficult situations, so that, like Brigadier Bhatt said, that when they actually face a war like situation, it might just be easier because you trained so hard. So definitely in the description below, we'll be adding links to the Commanders Leadership Gurukul and all of our upcoming webinars and live events as well. Take a look at that. There's a very famous saying, live like a soldier. And the moment, even when you say it, it brings some kind of a power within you. So what does this statement mean to you?
Okay, I'll start here. To me, it simply means live a life of purpose. एक है सुबह उठो काम पे जाओ थक जाओ घर आ जाओ सो जाओ. नेक्स्ट डे फिर उठो काम पे जाओ थक जाओ घर आ जाओ सो जाओ. नेक्स्ट डे फिर उठो काम पे जाओ थक जाओ घर आ जाओ सो जाओ. And check keep piecing and piecing. Then you wait for a Saturday Sunday. If that is your life, you are living a transactional life. Okay, go about that. What is the very purpose of my life? Think over it. There's no easy answers. It might come to in a flash after some 1 month of real deep thinking. कि मेरा मकसद क्या है जिंदगी का? And you'll find there are multiple purposes that you might have in different buckets. But once you go that, the next is to get your values in place. The universal values you can, if you want that out, what is your commitment level for your purpose? What is your integrity and honesty that builds your trust? Then ethics, morals, and most importantly, what is called as courage of conviction, which means when things are not going right, maybe around you, do you have the guts in you to stand up and say this is not correct? Or will you say, no, 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 this is how it is. I don't want to get into it. Because if that is how you think, your life will go on like that. Once you have this in place, trust me, you'll get that inner clarity and say, this is what I want my life to be. Then you get to a discipline. Then you have those simple goals. They're simple goals. You don't have to say I have to be the biggest of them all. No. Even day-to-day living life, saying maza aa raha hai zindagi ka, is a great idea. Okay. But whatever you do, then you do with purpose, with a goal in mind. And when you have multiple goals like that, you can have 100 goals if you want. Put it on paper. Okay, saying this is what I want to achieve. Put a timeline. You'll find life has a great purpose now. And like I always say, zindagi naam lenge dobara. Enjoy this full life. Okay. So don't get stuck into that. Oh my God, what will happen next? There are always ups and downs. Enjoy the ups. Enjoy the downs. When you are on a roller coaster, which is the part you enjoy the most? There is downhill, right? So get that into your life also. Because life will go up and down. When it's downhill, just enjoy it. Say this is maza aa raha hai. And tomorrow is going to happen. But then it will again start coming up. So have that little bit of discipline in you. Keep that always in mind. If required, get into a ritual, into a routine. This is what time I get up, do some things in the morning. First thing is what I call as a golden hour of power. Okay, as to simple things, exercise, meditation, it can be a lot of things like that before you get to your work. So if you said वक्त कहाँ है ये सब करने के लिए, वक्त निकालना पड़ता है, वक्त है ही नहीं, उसको निकालना पड़ता है. It depends on what your end result is. If you want to have a great life, then you'll find the time to do all these things: social life, professional life, financial goals, spiritual goals, emotional goals. All these will dovetail into it, and you'll have like मजा आता है जिंदगी का.
I think very rightly put across. I'll add two more P's to the purpose. Purpose, and whatever you do, do it passion. That is another P.
Yes.
Whatever you're doing, whatever profession you are in, whatever hobby you are pursuing, do it with passion. Because then only you will enjoy what you're doing. If you enjoy what you're doing, you do it better.
Yes.
Okay, if a soldier he goes to a firing range, he does it with a passion. Then only he improves and the results will be there.
Yes.
So that's second part. And third P is the positive part of it. Be positive in whatever you're doing. With this positive attitude, positive approach. Be positive with your people around you,
Yes.
your friends. I think that's all. You will achieve whatever you want, and we want all our nation to have such people only.
Yes. So, last question. What can people who are not in the uniform do to serve the nation?
Respect the people in uniform. Number one. Number two. That's a little selfish thing I'm saying, but
No, it's absolutely necessary.
okay.
Yes.
Second, yes. Again, as I said, whatever you're doing, there has to be a purpose which is a larger purpose. Whatever you're doing, you are serving the nation then.
Yes.
If you keep that in mind, that whatever I am doing, you're going to help the nation. It is like in Ramayana, that squirrel was there.
Oh,
Huh?
yes.
So that squirrel participated in the construction of that Ram
The
Setu.
smallest contribution.
Smallest contribution. But that contribution had an overall impact. So if you can have a small contribution towards the nation, I think that you are doing the job of a soldier only.
So, again, taking off on the same thing that he mentioned. First is have a purpose. Secondly is whether it's a big thing or a small thing, do it with full commitment. एक बार बोल दिया मतलब बोल दिया. Like what Salman Khan says in this movie, Wanted. एक बार commitment कर दी तो कर दी. फिर तो मैं अपने आप की भी नहीं सुनता हूँ. Make that your life, your ethos. Even if that you do it, trust me, your life will dramatically change. Because now people will respect you because you are a person of commitment. Just you think, do you want to be a person of kabhi हाँ kabhi na, 90% committed, 10% committed? If you have बोल दिया मतलब बोल दिया. सोचो बोलने से पहले. Before you commit, think 10 times कि यार should I commit, not commit. Once you commit, now no excuses. जी जान लगा के काम करो. That's it that the nation wants here. Do it with integrity. That is such जीना. Okay. और क्या चाहिए? These are not very complicated, not cliched stuff. Simple day-to-day living with full commitment. Commitment to who all? To your profession, commitment to your family, commitment to society. जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा. Have a great time.
Uh, thank you, Brigadier Bhatt sir. Thank you, Commander Girish sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today and enlightening us on so many different things. I think I'm pretty sure our audience has definitely enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give us a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and let many more people know about the amazing topics we are covering here. See you in the next episode.
And thank you for inviting me on this podcast for on
Thank
this
you, sir.
channel
Thank you
also.
for being
Thank
here.
you. It's always a pleasure
Always a
Yes.
to
pleasure.
interact with you, and fantastic. Thank you.